Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. We're going to talk about the overall economy today. And the thing is, despite the inflation numbers, we could actually be doing pretty well in the foreseeable future because people haven't stopped buying. And that is for retail sales, not so much crypto, but retail sales. But that kind of translates into crypto because what that means is that people still have disposable income to spare despite the 9.1 inflation. And that could actually be a big driving factor in the market. As you can see, the market actually rallied 600 points today to 31,000. And this is without the Fed printing more money in this current scenario. So basically, the Wall Street is actually gaining momentum, and we know that Wall Street and crypto are actually tied together. So crypto is gaining some momentum as well. At least Bitcoin, there's a lot of green today, and I think it might actually precipitate throughout the weekend because I'm not really sure. Maybe people were expecting more than 9.1, and also these consumer confidence numbers and consumer spending numbers are still way, way up. Retail sales actually rose 1.1% in June. That's slightly better than the zero point 0.9 estimate. The numbers are not adjusted for inflation, which rose 1.3% on a monthly basis. So with inflation, it was slightly down. But people are not slogging off on buying stuff. And if people are not slogging off on buying stuff, then retail demand and the economy will actually remain strong, which will actually help crypto. The thinking is if they have extra money to actually buy random stuff, they have extra money to buy crypto and stocks as well. And that's probably why the stock market rallied, because the numbers were much better, I think, than some people thought. Gasoline stations, so people aren't really cutting that much back on gas. There is a little bit of demand destruction, probably not much though. Online sales and bars and restaurants were some of the biggest contributors. So the thing is, people are still going out to eat. They're still going out to hang out at bars. They're still buying stuff online and they're still buying gas. So it's not like people are being squeezed for money, at least not most Americans. So it's going to be very, very hard to combat inflation on this sense. And I think a 1%, with this data coming, I think a 1% raise in the interest rate is very, very likely now because of the data. Consumer spending held up. So basically, we might be treading water and doing okay until the end of the month when we have that, when we actually have the 1% rise. But also, if June sales numbers are up, we may not be going into a recession because as long as the GDP grew over the last quarter, we're still going to be okay. Consumer spending held up during June's inflation surge, with retail sales rising slightly more than expected for the month amid rising prices amid most categories. This is from CNBC. So advanced retail sales increased 1% for the month. And unlike many numbers, the retail figures are not adjusted for inflation. And there was 1.3% inflation for the month. So inflation adjusted, they actually spent less, but only about 0.3% less. So people are not spending that much less as expected. They're still driving, they're still buying random stuff, and that means they still have some spare money to actually buy investments. So I do think the Fed will actually raise by 1% at this point, and that could cause a crash at the end of the month, but there's a very good chance that we might not go into a recession, and that news might actually counteract the 1% raise. So yes, even though there's inflation, people are still buying stuff. The economy is still pretty strong, and because of that, we might actually be okay until the end of the month. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.